And welcome back to the show. WHEDco is a community development organization founded on the radically simple idea that all people deserve healthy, vibrant communities. Now, WHEDco's opened a fitness center for residents at one of our locations in the Bronx Commons. And joining us now to share is a little bit more information. We've got the WHEDco Wellness Coordinator, Damien Alexander. And Damien, glad to have you with us here on Open. And it's got to be an exciting time having a new fitness center at the Bronx Commons.
It absolutely is. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And so talk to us a little bit about the fitness center and what people can expect if they come through.
So the fitness center here at Bronx Commons comes at a crucial time when people need a physical and mental distraction from COVID-19. The center is fully equipped thanks to our partnership with Peloton and Lyft. We officially opened the center on December 6th. The center is open 7 days a week to residents of Bronx Commons ages 18 and up. We've been running some live classes as well, conditioning, walking, running, yoga, meditation. So trying to bring the whole spectrum of health and wellness into a living community.
Yeah. And we know that this is the time of year right now where everybody's getting excited. They talk about their New Year's resolutions, what we're going to do, how we're going to get started, but sometimes it's really hard just to get started. You can have it here in the mind, but when it comes to really working it out, it doesn't always work out. How does the person get started if they're really moving from resolution to reality?
You know, I got to say, it's to be acknowledged that for a lot of folks who really need movement and mobility in their lives, there's so many other things going on that can feel a bit overwhelming and daunting all at the same time, while still necessary. And I would first, like I said, I acknowledge that. And I also say, don't feel overwhelmed, and that you can work, these small things into your already existing activities. For instance, I'd say if you're traveling from work to home, and you have a train stop or a bus stop that you usually get off at, maybe get off the stop before and walk those blocks, and try and find, even if it's, the first thing you do in the morning, if you can give yourself, even if it's a minute, for some people, 5 minutes is a luxury of time to have, but even if it's a minute to just drop into silence, stillness, and meditation, that can even be a way to jumpstart, mind-body connection to wellness.
Yeah. Diet and exercise are always so important that we hear about it. The importance of having a balanced diet, the importance of exercising. But for somebody who may need to hear it again, give us a little bit more about the impact that it actually has on a person's day-to-day life.
It's particularly important for residents of Bronx Commons who, we're in the county that ranks dead last in New York State for health outcomes. The Melrose area of the Bronx is considered a food swamp, which is an area with high density of establishments selling high caloric foods and junk foods relative to healthier food options. Here at Bronx Commons, we actually have a rooftop garden, and a farm manager who came into the building to show folks another option, a different alternative to what we may be used to. I've heard many of my colleagues, fitness experts, who say diet, what you eat, what you drink, what you intake, even on an esoteric level, is about 75% of your outcome. What you put in the body, how you fuel yourself. If I'm fueling my body with quote unquote junk food more than I am with healthy foods, that has a long-term effect on the body. In the same way that salts, fats, carbs has a detrimental effect in the long run, vegetables, healthy foods have a great outcome in the long run.
I know for a lot of people, this is the time of year where they do some reevaluating. Really, it's the beginning of the year, but a lot of this reevaluation stems from the fact that we've picked up some weight, we've done so, gained some weight during this COVID-19 pandemic, and whether it's staying at home and eating a whole lot more. What advice do you have for people who really are trying to just overcome this? Because there's got to be some alternatives to just staying at home, binge watching, television and then putting something in the mouth?
I gently suggest to move away from resolutions because it can be, you can feel defeated if you don't achieve this resolution. And as opposed to having a resolution, have a plan, and I always say start small. I would first off consider speaking to a health professional to see where you are to get, a baseline. And then from that baseline, you can move forward. Just start slow, show up, and set short-term goals that can bleed into long-term goals. Almost, if I want to run a spring 5K, I'm super active in the running community here in New York, and a lot of the 5K races kick off in the spring. And if I'm setting a goal to say, hey, I want to walk a 5K, you have a date and you work backwards. So you say, all right, this spring 5K is March 20, whatever. You plan out 8 weeks in advance that every other day I'm going to get up and I'm going to move. And again, like I said, it doesn't have to be a sprint. It can be small incremental steps to get to that goal, but you have to get up and start moving.
Mm-hmm. There's a link to between when we talk about mental health and exercise, and how exercise really could be a great asset to those who are struggling in the area of mental health. Can you help make the correlation for some of our viewers who may not know the correlation that's there between mental health and exercise?
Absolutely. Some people may think of physical and mental health separately, but they are connected. Good mental health can positively affect your physical health, and in return, poor mental health can negatively affect your physical health. Studies have found that, positive psychological well-being can reduce the risk of heart attacks and strokes, for example. And that's not to brush aside or not acknowledge that mental health is an issue for many of us in the community. And I think COVID kind of ripped the Band-Aid off of that in a good way to bring it to the forefront in conversation. And so, the self-images that we have of ourselves, which is a mental thing, kind of plays out into what we eat. There are people who talk about, there's that phrase, I eat my feelings. That's a real thing, and it's something to be acknowledged. And so if we start to remember the two go hand in hand, then while we work on our external, we still need to do the internal work as well.
So for people who want to find out about getting connected to the fitness activities that are taking place over at Bronx Commons, tell people what exactly is available and what are the amenities that people can take part in.
Well, Bronx Commons Fitness Center is an amenity for the residents of Bronx Commons. But moving forward, we will be doing community-based out-facing fitness activities. We are on social media, so you can follow us. And I'm always available for conversation.
Yeah. I want to ask you, well, let me have this conversation with you about meditation, because I understand that you're a person that practices meditation. So talk to me about the benefits of it, and how can a person really think about getting involved in that?
I think the first thing I like to say when I speak about meditation is to not overthink it. It can feel so, again, daunting, overwhelming. I don't know how to sit, the thoughts come up. And there's something that a meditation teacher taught me a long time ago, was that as opposed to trying to push everything out and silence the noise, meditation is still about coming inside, and being grounded. And so I always tell people, try and find a comfortable seat. It doesn't necessarily have to be a cross-legged seat, because that can be uncomfortable for some folks. You can sit up on a pillow, you can sit in a chair. And again, if you're just starting, maybe set a timer on your phone, smart device. And even if that timer is 60 seconds or 90 seconds, you can sit still, you can quiet the body, then you start to quiet the mind, tap into breath, and you're meditating. It's so accessible to everybody.
Something that maybe some people will definitely consider in the year 2022 as a way to navigate and deal with this pandemic and the things that we're actually dealing with. Damien, I want to thank you so much for being with us and sharing with us some much needed tips. And I want to tell people also that they can get some more information. That can go to WHEDco.org to be able to find out more about the work that Damien has got going on over there at the Bronx Commons. And then we also encourage you to follow them on Twitter and Instagram at WHEDco Speaks. Damien, again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.